going to show you a one-arm kettlebell Turkish get up today, and this is a tough exercise to master. It's going to take a lot of practice, so don't think you're going to become a master of it instantly, but practice with no weight, practice with a shoe balanced on your foot, on your hand, whatever it may be, it'll get you in a good position. Very important to start from a safe position, maybe not as important with really light weights, but we want to get in good habits so that we are carrying heavier weights, that we're going to be in a good spot when that comes around. So Mike's going to go into a side roll here, and make sure that his elbow is directly underneath his hand. Puts his wrist in a neutral position. He's got a good grip on the kettlebell. We'll notice right knee is up and right hand is up. His left leg is out and slightly off to the side. Okay? So effectively, we want to make sure we do is that we have a good base of support in that right heel for when we do go to plant and kind of work our way up. But first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to the forearm and focus on putting a little bit of force to the ground as we kind of pronate our hand a small amount. So Mike actually skipped a step right there. We're going to bring him back down. As he puts that forearm down, we need to make sure we get that hand underneath us instead of just being on the forearm. So make sure that you're actually starting to get in a position to put some force in the ground. Once we're in this spot, we're going to work to straighten the hand underneath us, or straighten the elbow, I should say. From here, you'll notice he's not hyperextended his elbow. Those of you who are really, really lax are going to want to be careful for that. He's also got a good posterior tilt of his shoulder, so he's not in scapular anterior tilt. He's in a good position, all right? He's also looking up at the kettlebell. Whether you want to do that or not is okay. I'd probably like to see him maybe a little bit more neutral in his head positioning, but not a huge deal. Anterior core is engaged. Once we're in this position here, all he's going to do is bridge up and extend his hips. So he's going to fully extend that hip to clear plenty of space underneath him, and then he's going to step through. Okay? So that step through sets him up for the next spot. Okay? So knee goes down. He's in a good base support underneath the kettlebell. Scapula is stable underneath him as well. Okay, so we're breaking this up into a bunch of segments, and from there he's going to transition to his lunge position by getting directly underneath the kettlebell. You'll notice as he goes to this position, first off, the heel actually swivels a little bit, so his foot's directly behind him in a good lunge. He's not in full shoulder flexion. He might not have that range of motion, that's fine. But what's really good is he's in a neutral spine position, his cervical spine. Anterior core is engaged, so he's directly underneath the kettlebell as best as he can be. From there, he's going to stand tall. Okay? As he gets to that tall position, maintains that neutral spine posture, doesn't slip into crazy extension. We're going to go back into a lunge. Okay? From there, very important, we're going to swivel the foot to put us in a good position. Okay? To go back down to get to hand to the floor. So he hinges the hips just a little bit to get there. Hands plants down to give him a good base support. Then he's going to step through, back to that original bridge position, still directly underneath the kettlebell. Butt goes to the ground. Anterior core is still engaged. He's not arching like crazy to find stability in those passive restraints in the back of his spine. Make sure he's in a little bit of scapular posterior tilt. And then we're going to transition back to the forearm. And then back down to the ground slowly. So it's segment by segment. Don't skip steps. Normally a rep wouldn't take that long. We were coaching it like crazy, so we made Mike work a little bit harder. You're going to do 3 per side, so make sure you do them correctly and don't skip steps.